Hello, welcome to Take 3 Reactor Summit, where we talk about all things Schmoedown and reacting and stuff we don't do anymore, according to people on the Facebook page. Even though we react every so often, it's fine. I'm not hurt. It's good. We're all good. We got a lot of stuff to talk about today. We got a great panel to talk about it with. We're missing our dearly beloved Matt Kearns. He started a new job, and I'm so proud of you, son. But that means he's tired and wants to not be on the summit. But we do have Malcolm Lay, who's always on the summit, and he's always awesome. And welcome to the summit. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. This should be pretty relaxing, and we'll probably all agree.
I'm sure these matches were not. I don't think. I mean, they were very clean matches. Outside of maybe one or two things that you could have an opinion about with the points in that round 3 match. But besides that, I think they're pretty clean overall. Also joining us is Doug, not Paul. How's it going, Doug, not Paul?
Doug, not Paul. I'm doing all right. Not feeling so hot, but I'm here. Let's have some fun.
Perfect. That's what I like to hear. Yep. That's what I like to hear. Not feeling well, but I'm still here. That's dedication. It's what we appreciate here on Take 3. Something I don't have much of because I literally took last week off because I didn't feel like I was busy. I had work to do. But yeah, okay. So let's get going. Enough of the silly stuff. We got some serious things to talk about. Schmoedown matches. And we had a really great one. It was supposed to be live in Arizona. I ended up watching it in Arizona anyway because that's how dedicated I am. But yeah, we got some really great matches. So we had Wildberries versus Late to the Party as the first match. And surprisingly, this was a really, really good match. And I don't know that people think oh, Wildberries, this is going to be a good match. I think they're thinking, Wildberries, this is going to be a riot. This is going to be a lot of fun. It was both, which is great because I love when a match can be full of energy and also full of knowledge. That's what life is all about, mixing energy and knowledge, something I have neither of most days. That sounds so mean to myself, but I say it like I see it. But these matches I thought were really good. This first one in particular, I really enjoyed. And yeah, we have a lot of stuff to talk about with this one, but I want to hear what everyone has to say about it before I give my thoughts. We're going to shoot it over to Malcolm. What did you think about this match between Late to the Party and the Wildberries?
Yeah, I love this match because Wildberries have proven that they may not know a lot of stuff, but they can pull out the upset and win when a lot of people will probably count them as it'll be Late to the Parties always been great for the entrances. Them coming out as Juan Burgundy and Veronica Cordingstone was just great, and the fact Wildberries did not do a keg stand or anything disappointed me, as probably disappointed everyone else. But and now we can add Elliot to the list of perfect rounds, which I never thought I'd ever say.
Yeah, I honestly had no idea I'd be leaving this match in quotations, saying, "Wow, Elliot Dewberry had a perfect round." I mean, it's not that he's not good at trivia, but he hasn't shown so far. This is his first perfect round, and he's been in the game with 2 different teams for quite a while, for many years, and he's never had a perfect round in round 1, and so it wouldn't be outside of the realm of sense to say that you're surprised that he got a perfect round. Am I surprised that no one else got a perfect round either? Yes. Obviously, Robert was not following his own advice. Let me say this right now. This is the one thing I was yelling at the screen because he comes out with his whiskey, pretty sure. because he was around Burgundy, so it has to be, right?
Scotch.
Scotch, dang. Well, Scotch is a kind of whiskey. So, he comes out with his drink and he's drinking it. And I was just like, it's one thing if it's a prop. It's another if you're actually drinking it, because late to the party, during their initial debut and everything, coined the thing, don't drink and Schmoedown. It's a thing. They've said it before. They'll say it again. But did they drink and Schmoedown? Well, one of them did, and he had a really off game. I mean, he got better, but his first round was not what I'm used to when I'm watching Robert play. He's usually way more solid, and Vanessa was the one who really held up the team in round one. Something I wasn't really expecting. Not that Vanessa's not great, but normally it's the other way around. It's really great to see Vanessa have her moment to kind of shine, though, because I think she's a little overlooked in terms of the dynamic of the two. I think people always just assume, well, Robert's the one who knows more about movies and he's the one who's kind of in charge of the team. But Vanessa is an equal partner in that team, and I really enjoyed watching her have her chance. And then in the second round, dominated as well with Disney. Was it Disney animated?
Mm-hmm. Disney.
Yes, thank you. It was one of the two. I did very well, by the way. I don't want to I was watching it with Ashley Franco, and we were just yelling the answers at the screen the whole time. We were like, "It's this! Don't get it wrong!" It was great, and I was the only one in that room who knew the Horned King. I just want to throw that out there. I thought it was an easy question, but then again, I guess if you've seen The Black Cauldron, you're a special person. No one has seen that movie. But yeah, I liked that Vanessa had a chance to kind of show her stuff in this match. Before I steal all of the talking points, Doug, what did you think about
That's fine. You talked all late to the party. I'm going to talk all Wildberry. This match started with Makuga saying, "Fry me." And it was classic. And then we got the slogan after the first round, "Hey, guy me." And they threw a fry across the thing. It was great. I think Dewberry is super underrated. I think people look over him because he's a part of the Wildberries and they like to party. Wildberries. But here...
Wildberries.
Wildberries. No, I mean... Even Makuga pulling some of his old Makuga-ness during the second round was amazing. I think they didn't party as hard as they normally do, in my opinion, because I agree with Malcolm. They didn't come out doing a cake stand or, running around or putting a belt between his legs. So I didn't think any of that stuff happened, and I think they were a little more focused than they've normally been. And I just think, no. And we also got the new slogan. It is no longer Perfect Round. It's called Pulling a Dewberry. It's great.
Yeah, I love that. I think that's kind of fitting in terms of if you're going to rename it, you should rename it after the person that no one ever thought.
You're mute.
You're really quiet.
Great. Well, I'm really quiet because I'm muted. No, I love that. I love that they renamed, coined a term off of it. I think that's just really funny. But yeah, I can talk about the Wildberries as well because they obviously won the match. No, they really surprised me, and Josh has a way of surprising you during matches, regardless. He's famous for kind of guessing answers that people don't think he should be able to guess, and I love that about Josh. But Elliot is really one of those people that people just don't think he's really invested in the game. And maybe he's not as invested in the game as some other people are, but this definitely showed that he's got the chops. If he could take it a little more seriously sometimes, I think he would be really, really in contention for some belts, maybe. I mean, could you imagine the Wildberries with the team belts?
I was just going to say that.
After what happened and Josh's expulsion, even though the most BS expulsion of the entire Schmoedown was Josh getting expelled from the Schmoedown or whatever, I could go on about that again because I did it the first time around, but just after what happened, if he got the belts, I would laugh so hard. But it's probably
pull the thing he did last time if he won the belts. He just
it would be his belt. he could do it. It would be his. They could put him on whatever detention, not detention. They could put him in detention again. He's like a school kid in my. He's still a high schooler in my brain. That's just how he acts, and I love it. And never change, please, never change. The only other thing I wanted to talk about was the round 3's questions. It felt like some of them were harder than others. It happens every once in a while where you just think that one's really, really obvious. To the competitors, obviously, it's probably not as obvious, like some people just know things that others don't. I think in the live chat there was a lot of calling out, like saying that round 3 was a lot, or that 5-pointer was a lot easier than the other person's 5-pointer. It is what it is. I didn't necessarily think that there was a huge disparity in how hard everything was, but at the same time I did think one was quite a bit easier than the other. But again, it's all like personal knowledge based on what you know and don't know. So it's hard to say necessarily if one is really easy. It's not like they're just giving you the answer. Like, in what movie does Leonardo DiCaprio die in the ocean?
That's got to be Gangs in New York, right?
Yeah. Definitely Gangs in New York. So yeah, I don't know necessarily if I would say there's a huge disparity in terms of the difficulty of the questions, but I know there was a lot of talk about it when it was being live streamed. And I think that's all I really wanted to say about this match. I was just really surprised in the Wildberries. I hope that they can pull another Dewberry and make it into round 3 of the tournament. We'll see. I'm really excited.
Maybe this time McHugh can get a perfect round.
This wasn't even a tournament round. That's right. Never mind.
Yeah, this isn't even a tournament.
I can't believe that this wasn't even a tournament match. It definitely should have been. I mean, like, it really should have been. It was better than potentially some of the tournament matches we're about to see.
Imagine the chaos if the Wildberries beat the family.
Oh my god, I would laugh so hard. I would laugh so hard. Insane. Oh my god.
It would be insane.
I wish with all my might. All right, so let's move on. Bibiani, Chance Ellison, the next match. This was a tournament match. See, I do know things. I again, a really solid match. Not surprising because these guys are like top tier competitors, even though Chance hasn't won in singles at all. How? I don't really know, because Frank, who's going live right now, thank you so much, Frank, for going live at the same time as us. I appreciate it. You're the best friend. We gotta time these things better. I'm gonna text him next time. Are you going live? Please say no. Yeah, he posted on the Facebook page something about Chance's stats and how impressive his stats are. But then at the same time, how he hasn't won anything yet. He's got like a high 80s%
I think it's
accuracy.
Like 86.
Yeah, it's really high. There are people who have like 2 or 3 wins whose accuracy is in like the 60s. Chance has 0 wins with a really amazing accuracy record. It's just the level of competitors that he's been facing has been so good, because you look at Bibiani. Obviously, he's Bibiani. He's not always perfect, but at the same time, he's always like solid. He's a solid player. And then, obviously Paul, who now has the singles belt. Obviously, he's a great competitor as well. I can't even remember who he played the first time. That's how impressive that match was.
It was Janine.
Oh, gosh, it was. I watched it live. I have the tour shirt and everything. Yeah, that's how much I remember that night. We had a lot to drink. That's not true, because I had my child with me. We had very little to drink. Yeah, so Janina and Chance, and he won that one.
Yeah, wait, I thought he.
Yeah,
wait, no, he's.
Yeah, Chance has had some wins. I think
just one win.
Just one. He's 1 and 2 now.
According to the rankings, he's 2 and 3.
Who else has he beat?
Now I'm trying to think who.
Okay, I need to I should have taken notes and actually researched this, but that's not how I operate. Especially not today of all days. No, Chance. join us and let us know who you've beat and who you've lost to, because we would appreciate that. Obviously, he has lost to Bibiani. Oh well. I really enjoyed this match. I think that both competitors could have easily won this match. The fact that Chance lost is just Bibiani played that much better. I mean, they were both really, really good. And when you have a match where both players play basically to the best of their ability, it doesn't actually feel like someone lost. It just felt like everyone had a good match and everyone kind of like walked away a winner. Obviously, Chance probably doesn't feel that way. But to me, it just felt like, everyone did a great job. Well done. Golf clap. Malcolm.
His other win was against Emma.
Oh, he played Emma?
Yeah.
Wow. I'm shocked. I do not remember that match. Probably because he beat her by a lot. And I don't usually remember the matches that are like blowouts. I try and forget things that have blowouts in them. I'm a parent. Erase them all from my memory. It's a joke about diapers. Welcome to the summit. Thanks, Doug.
I got it. Gross image just popped in my head. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. You know what? I don't have to deal with them anymore. I'm so excited because Kara's eating whole food. Her poops are solid. I'm so excited. It's the little things. When you're a parent, it's the little things that you get excited about. Now you know about my child's movements. Okay, well, yeah, Malcolm, what did you think about this match?
Yes, that all day. If that does not win entrance of the year, I hate everyone.
Yeah, no.
You will get heel dug.
It was a great entrance. I really did it. It was so good.
I mean, as a fan of Love Actually, when he pulled out this entrance, because as we know from when we were talking to him in the comments in the Meme Teams page, he had to change his entrance from what he originally planned for Arizona because it wasn't going to work in the studio. But when he pulled out the Love Actually thing, this was just a great entrance, and I think just hearing Mark Ellis just read all the read all the things added to it.
I couldn't help it. I couldn't help myself.
But the match itself was really fun to watch. Just to see sort of how close it was. It just came down to the last question, and which is what I really like to see. And I mean, there's not much else I can think of about this match, to be honest.
I mean, like I said, the matches, both of them, but especially this one, I think were just really clean matches in terms of how they were played and the content in them and everything. So when there's a match that's just like clean and everyone plays well, it's like I could just say they played well. There's not much else you can really say. Like the entrances were great, Chance was great, Bibbs was great. I was really, really impressed with how composed Chance looks, because sometimes like Chance doesn't he doesn't look uncomposed, but sometimes he just kind of looks like I don't know how to describe it, but he felt very like even, I guess. I don't know how to say what I'm trying to say. But yeah, he looked very composed until his last question. And we were yelling and fighting about whether he was playing the part or if he actually knew the answer. I was convinced he knew the answer because he was like hiding his face and it looked like he was kind of laughing. I was convinced he knew it. And some of the other people we were watching it with were like, no, he doesn't know it. And I was like, he knows it. And then, John was like, I think he knows it too. I'm like, cool. Well, at least we agree on one thing in our lives. I mean, we were all just like trying to figure out if he actually knew it or not, because it was such a close match. I mean, it did go down to that last 5-pointer, and Chance not hitting it was such a huge deal. But yeah, the fact that I couldn't tell if he knew it or not was really, man, nail biting. I love when the Schmoedown does that. I think that's my favorite part of this match, actually, was just not actually knowing whether or not Chance had it right. And I actually didn't know the answer to the question anyway. So when he gave his answer, I'm like, is that right? I don't know. So there was a lot of suspense, and it was great. I loved it. Paul, Jesus, I did it again.
I'm used to it now.
It's always in my brain to not call you Paul, and then I always call you Doug.
It's an ongoing joke. We're okay with it.
It's not even a hard name, man. Doug.
They're both 4 letters, so I'll give you that. You got
It's
the
true.
number of letters right.
It's true. Can you just legally change your name to Paul, and then maybe I'll start calling you Doug?
I'll think about it.
Perfect. I mean, just for my sake. So, Doug, what do you have to say about this match between Chance and Viviani?
Yeah, I was actually right along with you with not knowing if he knew it or not up until the last repeat. Once he said the last repeat, I was like, he doesn't know it. He doesn't got it. Unless he, like, somehow mysteriously pulls it out. No, I mean, like you said, what can you say about a match where they both did phenomenal? They both pulled a double Dewberry. So, yes, I'm going to hashtag that. That will be the way that I say perfect round from now on. Pulling a Dewberry.
It sounds, you know what, like the more you say it, the more I think it just sounds kind of gross. So I'm not sure.
It'll grow on you.
Okay, that's fine.
No, that entrance gotta be runner. That's gotta be one of the top entrances that Bibbs has ever done. It's so great. And I mean, I think we saw old Chance during the interview. Because he definitely, you know, he was rattled a little bit, and then he was like, "I'm gonna overcompensate my cockiness," and I was like, "Sure, Chance, I'm right along with you." And then Emma Spitfire and back learned.
Oh my God, that was so funny. That was so funny. It's really weird how some of the best moments of this match, not that the match itself wasn't amazing because they both did so well, but like the moments that I really, really enjoyed, some of them were like that Emma moment was hilarious. It was so funny. I love seeing Emma kind of just like go at people because it's like so unusual. And then when she does it, you're just like, yes, get him. Get him. It was great. I loved it. Yeah, I totally agree with you. I think Chance definitely kind of had some cockiness back. And maybe that's what I was trying to say, where he like looked a little more composed. Cockiness isn't really composure, but at the same time, like he just felt like he had some of the old Chance back, I guess. You know, what you're kind of used to seeing. Maybe his confidence had been rattled after the last match. But he looked back on form, and man, if this had been any other competitor, he probably would have won this thing, but it wasn't. It was Bibbs. I hope Bibbs does really well in this tournament, honestly. I think he deserves to have that belt back,
I want it to be Bibbs. So bad. I want it to be, even though I didn't put it this way, I want it to be Bibbs and the kid, and just one of them just takes whoever's got the belt at the time.
Perfect.
And I got the kid winning, so I love Bibbs, but I really want the kid to win. I want
the kid
to win.
I kind of like that idea just because I love seeing when teams go up against each other, because then you can kind of figure out like who really is the better person on the team. Not that there's one person who's better or not better. It's more of just like the semantics of it, like who has the win over the other person, right? Because they can kind of hold it over the other person a little bit if they're not nice to each other. Or if they are nice to each other, they're just like, hey, buddy, we're just going to be pals again, which I like. I like the people who are good teammates and can take a loss against each other well. But yeah, I want to see it.
You mean like In Snyder and JTA?
Yeah.
Because that match was very fun, and
it led
to them breaking up.
Yeah, so and I called it. I called it like 6 months, and I called it like a half year before it happened. I'm like, something's gonna happen. They're probably gonna have a singles battle, and then they're gonna break up. And it did. And I was like, well, oh well. I don't like being right about things. It makes me feel weird.
Also, if the kid wins the tournament, we're going to get a rematch between Paul and the kid.
Yes, beat his ass.
I want it. I want it.
Destroy him. I kind of do think that Ethan Irwin is probably going to be the one who comes out of the tournament ahead. Not that I don't think Bibbs is amazing or anything, or the kid or whoever is going to be up. I just think that Ethan has been, since he arrived in the Schmoedown, kind of like the powerhouse of everything. It's really hard to not think he's going to win. But then at the same time, I have a lot of other people I kind of want to win besides him. So I don't know. We'll see. I always root for Bibbs because he's a great person. He's great at trivia. I think he deserves to have his moment in sunshine again. We'll see. I'm looking forward to it. But yeah, this match was great. I loved it. 100%. Great match. Nail biter down to the end. Yeah, it was great. What else can you say? Perfect match. This match would have been so good live. I wish this match had been live, like in a arena, or not an arena. It was a comedy club, but I wish it had been live. This thing would have killed.
Do you think it would have ended the same way though?
I don't know, because
That's the
well, Bibbs
question.
is a natural performer, and you've seen Chance in a live environment in terms of him actually doing well, winning. So I don't know that the live crowd would have actually affected them very well, or not very well, but very
Yeah.
much. I think that, they might have fed off of it a little bit, but yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, they've both been in a live setting because Bibbs was in the free for so
I'm glad I said nice things about Bibbs because he's in the comments. Hi,
yeah.
how are you?
Bibbs.
You're the best.
So is Brandon Hannah.
Yeah. Oh, hi, Brandon. Talking about someone who's awesome, Brandon Hannah, who's got an Inner Geekdom match coming up soon, which we're looking forward to watching, friend. But yeah, I'm looking forward to these upcoming matches. We do have to talk about some cutscenes, though. Cutscenes. There's a lot of things I can say about these cutscenes. One of which is I don't like the stipulation of corruption versus founding fathers. I don't like it at all. I don't like that the stipulation is entirely one-sided. I don't appreciate that. It's because I'm super biased about who I want to win. No, I just think that if it's a stipulation match, it should go both ways. If corruption loses, they also have to break up, or they have to forfeit their, whatever, next match. Who knows? I certainly don't like that it's a stipulation that only impacts one half of the match. I think that makes it, if corruption wins, then founding fathers have to break up. If founding fathers win, I mean, they get the belts, but outside of that, like, it's kind of like, it just kind of takes away the edge of the match. It's just a belt. Breaking a team up is huge in terms of the way that the league is then going to have to figure out, like, well, are they going to be in another team, and whose team, and do you bring in a new player to play with them, or do you try and recruit from one of the singles people who aren't on a team, or do you break up another team? Like, there's so much stuff that you can think about, in terms of what happens with these players, especially if Roca is going to keep playing and not going to quit. Like, he keeps saying things about him retiring and then never retiring. To me, I feel like there's just a lot to think about in terms of them breaking up. And then when you have the other side of it, where founding fathers, or where corruption just kind of walks away without belts, like, I don't know, I kind of just want there to be, like, more. Maybe it'll come. Maybe that's, like, down the road. We'll find out that there's a secret stipulation on the other end of it. But for the moment, I'm not a fan. I don't want founding fathers to break up. I like them. They're cool. Malcolm, what do you think about the stipulation that was announced for corruption and founding fathers?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of saw this stipulation maybe coming when Mike and Chance were just so angry about having to face founding fathers again. But yeah, I'm with you. I don't think it should be one side because even though if founding fathers win, they take away corruption's belts and their pants will fall down. But other than that, they don't really get anything else happen to them. But yeah, I mean,
I don't know.
like multiple times doesn't mean that one of them should break up because of it. So
Yeah, I mean, you look at what happened with, Top 10 faced Action three times,
yeah,
and they faced the Patriots 3 times, and there wasn't a stipulation on either of those. Like, I mean, it's weird to me that just because, oh, this is their third match playing them, like, that didn't make any difference when it was top 10. But maybe there's other things. Garth brings up in the chat. He's been saying that Roka is going to just retire at the end of the season. That's fair. I think it could happen. He's been saying stuff like that for a long time, though, so we shall see. I don't buy it. Until it happens, I don't believe it, because he's been saying it for like 3 years, and he's still playing. Doug, what did you think about the stipulation?
I think it's natural, especially with John Roka's post. This might be the last ride. I think it might have less to do with the singles as it does with the teams. I just think in total, maybe he's just a little tired of playing the game. So tinfoil hat, I think, being honest, I think maybe it was Roka that put the stipulation on it. He talked to Christian and was like, "Let's make this interesting. Let's pull a team action versus us type match, and we'll go from there."
Yeah, and the cool guy in the chat has told us that we're idiots and that there were stipulations on those matches. He didn't say we were idiots, but we are. Thank you for letting us know that we're wrong. This is why we like doing it live, so that people can tell us when we're wrong about things.
Also, I do like Garth McMurray's stipulation he suggested for corruption a little bit in the chat, that if corruption loses, they should be forced not to wear dark clothing and sunshades.
I like it. Actually, I think that's really funny. And that would really actually maybe mess up Chance's game a little bit, because he's never really played without the shades. It helps to kind of drown out those lights a little bit. And so maybe he would really throw him off the next time they play. I like it. I think that's hilarious. Thank you, the cool guy who has told us the stipulations for the matches. I appreciate it. I mean, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. It happens pretty frequently. There's a lot of things going on in that brain. I can barely recall what happened in the last week of the Schmoedown. Not even to say like the last 3 seasons of the Schmoedown.
We don't have Abe to correct us today.
Yeah, Abe usually tells us when we're wrong about things. We don't have Abe, so we're like flying free today. We say things, we just assume they're right until someone tells us they're wrong. The other cutscene that we have to talk about, and this should be where we actually do our tinfoil hats, but Doug already did the tinfoil hats. How dare you? The nuke. What is it? What is the nuke? There was a lot of talk about it, just random people talking about the nuke, basically. That's what the cutscenes were. Yeah, we don't know what it is. It'll be announced soon. That was not part of the cutscenes, but it was announced that we're going to find out what the nuke is during the throwdown that happens with Janine and Kalinowski. Yeah, I can't wait to find out what happens, but at the same time, I kind of wanted it to be something that was announced during the tournament, or during, not the tournament, but like at the finals or during Spectacular, because I feel like that could have been huge, right? Because whatever it is, you can't nickname it the nuke without it being something that's ginormous to the league. It just feels like something that would have hit real well at Spectacular, especially if it's going to be live. If it's something as groundbreaking as it sounds like it's going to be, if that had been live announced, like, just imagine the crowd there just losing their minds about it. It's probably there's something else coming in terms of storyline. They have to get this out of the way so that they can talk about other things. I understand. I'm not involved in the story decisions, but I should be. I'm just joking. I really should. I shouldn't be. But I do miss that this isn't going to be live. I think that this would have just killed it. I want to hear you guys' thoughts on the nuke in general, but what do you guys think it's going to be, Doug? Do you have any ideas of this?
Yeah, I've been thinking about this a lot. And what happened at the last spectacular? Someone speared somebody through a table. I got it, guys. I got it. All the tables are being reinforced with super steeled legs so no one can break them like they broke Bib's table. I'm good for one laugh.
I mean, I certainly have not seen that yet, so that is the most original answer I think I've seen so far. Malcolm, what do you think? What do you think about the nuke? What do you think it's going to be? Is Myra Burnett just completely insane?
Well, Burnett is definitely completely insane. I mean, that's pretty much a given. But if I'm thinking rightly, Janine versus the Machine is the last match of round one, isn't it? Or is there any more?
Wait, what?
Is because it's being revealed this weekend,
right?
To everyone. So is Janine versus Mike? Is that the last round one match of the singles tournament?
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm wondering if it's something about they're going to switch up who plays who in round two, and so it's because the fact that it's being revealed on that match makes me wonder if it's something to do with the tournament, because as we know, Robin Burnett, I can't say his name anymore, but he made himself tournament commissioner, so maybe it is something to do with the tournament and what's going to happen in round two, because the timing of when they're announcing it seems a bit suspect to me.
Yeah, a little bit. Or it could have nothing to do with that at all, and they just have something they're building off of it. But I do like that idea. I think that's actually a good way to keep things really interesting. Like if you're preparing for a certain match, and then that certain match doesn't happen, it can really mess with you. Apparently, it was already talked about somewhere.
I think I think at one of the question and answers after one of the live events, I think that he revealed it to the people and then they
were sworn to secrecy. I have no comment on if I know what it is. I'll give you my educated guess. If I was going to guess, it's got to be something that really shakes everything up. This is my guess, whether I know it or not. It was my guess when they announced what it was going to be. Like, it's going to be the nuke. I was like, oh, it's probably going to be something like this. Yeah, I kind of like the idea of them destroying the singles records. Like, putting everyone at 0. And just being like, well, everyone's starting over. Because there's a lot of people who have legacy records from, like, the really beginning days of the Schmoedown when it was all so different. And so you've got people who are playing in the league who aren't, it feels like their record is really inflated or deflated based on how they're playing now versus how they were playing 5 years ago. So I like it from a logistical point of view, like get rid of the records and start over from the beginning. I'm sure none of the competitors would like that. Well, maybe a couple. Maybe a couple people who have bad records would like that. Like Chance, he probably would really enjoy that. But I just think if you're going to do something that throws the entire Schmoedown into a tizzy, getting rid of records would really mess some people up. And I think that, I just think that it has to be big. It's called the nuke. It's got to be huge. Maybe it is going to be about a table. Who knows?
Well, that's what Brandon had just said in the chat. It's about the table.
Brandon would know, but Brandon was also sworn to secrecy. So if that's the real answer, then You blew it.
Screenshot and send it to Harloff.
And again, whether or not that's the actual answer, it's not the actual answer. However, it is what I initially thought it was going to be. I still have no comment. You can read into that however you want. Yeah, I just hope this thing's huge. I want this nuke to be like actually a huge deal because you can't name it the nuke without it completely destroying everything. So
it implodes the Schmoedown as we speak.
yeah. Well, I guess a nuke would destroy a table. So
yeah, my theory would be right.
It could be just about Bibbs' table. I don't think Christian likes that storyline. It's not even a storyline. It was just a joke someone made that keeps being brought up, and I think he hates it. So yes, I hope that the nuke is about the table. just for humor's sake, I want it to happen. Yeah, that's really.
You know what would be great? All right, tinfoil hat theory again, guys. Here you go. What if at the spectacular we have Bibbs just hovering over the same spot as where the table was, and he's like, 1999 down the drain.
That would be really funny.
Harloff, I'm sending you ideas, man. People would love that idea.
I mean, I would love it, but then again, I pretty much just like anything that the Schmoedown does.
I mean, we've seen Harloff ideas about the therapy group. He never chose to ignore us.
That's he pretty much just ignores everything we say. Sigh. Is there not a match this Friday?
It's Janine.
Oh, that's Saturday.
Oh,
is there a tag team match?
Chat. Let us know if there's not a match this Friday because I've been literally looking to try and figure out what matches are this week for like the last 2 hours, and for some reason I have no idea. Because coming up in this week in the Schmoedown, we have Liz-Shannon Miller versus Ben Bateman to continue the tournament. And then we also have dropping a Patreon exclusive Christian Harloff versus Tom Dagnino Rocky match. Thank you, Brandon. No match. This is why we like having friends like Brandon Hanna.
So maybe they'll do a press conference.
Yeah, maybe they'll do like a special or like a bracket for the team, maybe because they haven't done that yet. A bracket special for teams. But yeah, Liz-Shannon Miller versus Ben Bateman, I think is going to be really interesting because we've seen Liz-Shannon Miller go up against some moderately tough people. I feel like Ben Bateman is going to be a real test to her because he can be maybe not intimidating. He can be, but he's one of those people who plays mind games, whether or not that's in his character now or not. You know, he's supposed to be more of like a face now. He could still play mind games, and she's not really played anyone who's been in that realm of. I mean, JTE used to be, but he's definitely not anymore. Yeah, I think that this could really test her resolve here. I do think that Ben Bateman is going to win this. I usually give the wins when I don't actually have an opinion to the person who's got more seniority. He's just got more matches under his belt, not a title belt, just probably a leather black belt that holds up his pants. Yeah, probably that belt. He doesn't have it. I'm sorry, he just doesn't have a belt. Sorry, Action Army. Just your boy doesn't have a belt. Where's the belt? Just saying. Yeah, he's just got more matches under him. So I do give him the edge here, but Liz-Shannon Miller could just really be surprising. She's supposed to be like the next Ethan Irwin. So based on what he has said himself, I think that she could be surprises. Like, I hope she does. I love when we're surprised about these matches and don't just have all the obvious ones kind of fall into place, but I do think it's going to go Bateman's way. Doug, after you're done coughing, who do you think's winning this match?
Stupid. Summer cold.
I hate summer colds. It's the fall
it's the
now,
worst.
though, so.
Listen, In Jersey, it's 100 degrees here, so it's not fall. No, I got Ben in this match too. I haven't seen anything really spectacular from Liz to tell me that she could take on Ben. That being said, she could very much do it. She could upset us all. But I haven't seen anything from her to prove that she is the next Ethan Irwin. Ethan Irwin came in like a force to be reckoned with and stayed to be that force to be reckoned with. I don't know if she doesn't study as much. I don't know what her study regimen is, but I know Ben Bateman's got a pretty tough study regimen. So
Yeah, I'm with you. I just think that, Ben's got more of a system down. I'm not sure that Liz Shannon Miller is studying the same way Ben is. I mean, I don't know her personally, so it's really hard to kind of say, like, yes, she studies this way. We all know that Ben studies. We all know how he studies. He's hardcore about it. And when you're going up against someone like that, it's really hard to not study and win. So hopefully she is studying for it. But at the same time, not everyone has the time to do that. And she's got a job, I'm sure, that she has to focus on as well. So, Malcolm, who do you think's winning this match?
Yeah, I've got Ben as well. I think Ben wants it more, and so I think he's driven himself to sort of to go the distance, like Hercules, and go from zero to hero. But
zero to hero.
but yeah, no. But Ben has just been sort of dominant. Well, he's had some bad luck in previous matches. I think this is his to win.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you. It seems like a pretty set in stone match, but any Schmoedown match can go either way. That's kind of the good thing about the Schmoedown is no one is safe. No one is safe. Just ask Mark Riley. Kearns is just off crying in a corner. Yeah, we love you, Kearns, but your boy loves. All right, so the other thing we have to talk about is this Rocky match. It's Dagnino being in any match automatically makes it a match that I want to watch very badly. It being a Rocky match with him and Harloff, I think this is just going to be one of the most ridiculous matches we've seen since, well, probably the Robert Meyer Burnett Dagnino match, honestly. It'll probably have more points scored than that match, but the ridiculousness of it, I'm sure, will be on par. Who do I think is going to win this match? Dude, Tom knows his Rocky. If he knows anything, he knows his Rocky. Not that Harloff doesn't, but like there was at some point something that happened, and someone had a question about a Rocky, or a question about Rocky, and they didn't agree with the answer, and we ended up messaging Tom about it, and he was like, "No, it should be this," and I was like, "Thank you, Tom." Matt did it, not me personally. But besides the fact, he knows so much about Rocky. I'm going to give it to Dagnino. Sorry, Christian. You don't watch our show. You don't get my vote. No, just joking. I took a workplace harassment course today, and that is what you would call retaliation harassment, in which you retaliate against someone else for something they've done. No, I'm just joking. All right, well, that's my life. Let's figure out. This is like one of the most awkward summits we've ever done, and it's really just because I'm tired and have to work still. And yeah, that's basically it. I'm on like my 5th cup of coffee today. Doing great. Thanks for asking, everybody. Doing real well. Doug, who do you got winning this match between Harloff and Dagnino here?
Yeah, so I thought I was going to be Mr. Hot Take, but you are Mrs. Hot Take. No, I am right in your boat when it comes to saying that Dagnino knows his stuff about Rocky. I think Dagnino I think this will be a significantly large amount of point increase from the Robert Meyer Burnett and Dagnino match. Yeah, no, I got Dagnino. I think he's gonna just I think it'll be a lot of fun regardless, and I'm excited to see what the entrances are.
Yeah.
Above everything, I hope they're all Rocky entrances, because if they're not, that's a waste of opportunity.
They just play the same song,
Wait,
and they
guys.
both have the exact same entrance, and then you're just like, oh, that's cool.
Tinfoil hat before we go to Malcolm. What
Perfect.
if they end it like Rocky 3? Freeze frame, you don't know the ending. They both end in a tie. They can tell their
But
children
they've
that they
done
both
that
won.
in the Schmoedown, because they did that after the Texas Live event. There was a cutscene at the end where Roca and Merle were going to get in the ring and fight, and then they freeze framed it.
I know.
It's
But
been done.
Come on. It would still be.
You got to find better hats.
I'm sorry.
Malcolm is just like, yes, you have to find
I
better
mean,
hats.
to be fair, they repeated the Bill and Ted entrance a few times. So.
Hey, Malcolm, stop it. Why are you the way that you are? Who do you think's winning this match, Malcolm?
I've got Dagnino. Because he,
Wow.
I believe he beat JTE to sort of get to this point, because they had another Rocky exhibition match. I think it was JTE versus Dagnino. So I think Dagnino knows his Rockies. I mean, Harloff's busy hosting Collider Live and doing Jedi Council and everything. He doesn't have time to study.
He's got kids. He's got his new SEN, which sounds like a Nintendo system, but it's not. It's the Schmoedown Entertainment Network. He's running that, doing 2 or who knows how many live streams a week out of his garage. Who knows? They basically announced it last live stream. Yeah. And all of the other things he's doing for Collider. Like, he's a busy guy. He doesn't have time to be watching Rocky. He's got kids. He's only got like 2 or 3 hours a day to be watching movies, because they're all over the place when you're trying to do stuff, and they don't let you do anything, and they don't you're not supposed to get them to watch Rocky. Like, it's not good for their development to watch Rocky.
But hitting people.
Yeah. So he's really busy. I feel like Dagnino hasn't studied at all either, but that's because he's Dagnino. I think he has these movies memorized, so I don't think he needs to study. And that's kind of why I'm giving him the edge here, because I want Tom to win. Let's just let Tom win. Let Tom win. Let Tom win. Okay. Yeah, so that's next week's match, or this week's matches. The only other thing that we have to talk about is the team bracket. We're going to do an actual bracket show.
Are we not predicting Mike and Janine?
No, because it doesn't go live. Oh, we can. We will. Fine. We will. It doesn't go live until next week. So it's like, why do we talk about it this week when we aren't actually going to get it for everybody until next week? Yeah, we can discuss Janine versus Mike. Mike, I hope you have enjoyed your winning streak, because it's about to come to an end. Janine is going to eat your winning streak like a piece of Wonder Bread. It sounded better in my head than it sounded coming out of my mouth. I have Janine winning. I think Janine has been on a real kick this season. She's been preparing like super hard for this. I think she's been studying harder than probably anyone except the people in Inner Geekdom. And she's ready. I think she's ready for this. And I think she's ready to kind of like cast off the Janine that was when she entered the Schmoedown, who was not sure of herself, not sure of where she stood. She knows where she stands now. She knows what she wants to do, and she wants to beat Mike Kalinowski, and she wants to get that singles belt. So I got my girl Janine. Sorry, Mike. Once again, you are not the person I picked to win a match. You should be used to it by now. Because I never pick you to win a match. I still love you. You're a great guy. What do you guys think, Malcolm? Who do you think's winning this one?
I as much as I love Janine, I've got Mike winning this. Mike wants to be to get all 3 belts. He's he's been on a tear lately, and he's proven, like in the team matches and all that he's managed to somehow be studying both inner geekdom and general movies all at once.
I don't
I'm pretty
understand how anyone can have that much, 1, time, and 2, mental capacity.
I'm pretty sure he's cloned himself. He only sees his clone to do the matches, but yeah.
He could be a clone. So I'm gonna show my nerdness. In Naruto, when you do a clone jutsu, every time those clones disappear, you gain the knowledge that clone has learned. And so it's a great way to do like tactics. And so that's what's happening, obviously, is that Mike Kalinowski has learned how to do the shadow clone jutsu. And every time his shadow clone disappears, he gains all that knowledge. So he can just go to work and leave his shadow clone at home, or 2 or 3, studying. And then he just goes and then they go away, and then all that knowledge just gets soaked into his brain. That's the real tinfoil hat.
Adding on to your tinfoil hat, he has shadow clones studying each subject until the wheel is spun.
That's awesome. That's great. Now everyone knows I'm into anime.
Hi.
We've been rewatching Naruto because reasons. I don't know. We were bored.
That's a 300 episode.
It is. Like, you got to be real bored to be rewatching Naruto.
Super bored.
Well, there is like a whole season of filler that you could just skip. You're like, all this stuff, I don't need to know about it. They're going to like some Iceland. That didn't happen in the manga. I don't care. We're not.
You can do that in Shippuden too. There's like 3 sections of Shippuden that you can skip.
That's true. That's
the whole
true.
first section you can skip with Gaara and the whole like Sand Village thing. I don't know why
I like, but see, the thing is, like, the filler in Naruto, I actually like, because they did the filler with like Kakashi's backstory was technically, a lot of it was filler. I really liked that one. I like that one. And then I really also like they did like Itachi stuff that I thought was really well done. So some of the filler in Shippuden, I think, is more well deserved than the stuff in the Naruto, the original. Wow, we went way off base.
Reactors Summit / Naruto talk.
That's what I'm gonna go rename the episode afterwards. It's just gonna be like #Naruto talk.
Garth has an interesting tinfoil hat theory in the comments.
Sure.
He says Shannon is the true genius and feeds Mike the answers for an earpiece.
Perfect. Nice. I love it. You know what? Shannon probably knows more about movies than half the people in the Schmoedown, given how much Mike studies. I don't know how she puts up with it.
# give Shannon a match.
That's true love right there.
# Shannon doesn't want a match. # Shannon doesn't want a match.
Shannon has exhibited, if anyone doesn't believe in true love, that is what it is. Shannon and Mike, that is true love right there. Malcolm, you didn't give yours, or Doug didn't give his?
Doug didn't go.
We got so off base talking about stinking Naruto.
Listen, I'm taking the Naruto theory and I'm running with it because I think that's how Mike should win. Shadow Clone Jutsu.
All right. Well, man, that happened. Okay, can we talk about the team brackets now before we start talking about random stuff again? Okay, all we have to say is that we're going to do a team bracket breakdown at some point closer to when the team's tournament is actually going to begin, because I haven't like fully digested the bracket yet. I'm still trying to like think about who I want to win things, and actually some of those matches you kind of have to depend on how the singles tournament also plays out. So, like, if someone's in a teams match and a singles match, obviously not at the same time, if they lose the singles tournament, they might be a little upset and not do well in teams tournament. So I kind of want to wait just a few weeks before we start that bracket, but we are going to do that soon. I'm excited. Brackets are great. I can't wait. Not like a show about brackets. Some person who used to be on this panel
He
does.
just got up and
He did. I'm going to talk bad about his show full of brackets. I hate it. It's the worst thing out. No, it's a great show. So, all right. So that's all we have for today. Before we start talking about Naruto again, where can we find people on the internet? Malcolm, what shows do you have? Any bracket shows that you want to plug?
You can find me hosting both Bracketeering and Rankum on Sunday nights. Bracketeering is heating up, and next week I will be announcing the matchups for the Extras bracket as well. So it's just to make the show longer than a minute. But
you mean once I send you my actual list and not some random document that was on my computer?
But yeah, and also Rankum next week will be non-musician biopics. So that should be a lot of fun. I'm hosting Full Metal Random on Tuesdays, and I do a lot of other things all over the place. We could be here forever if I plug everything.
That's true. Malcolm is like the busiest person of all time. He's on every show. Like, if you just like start looking around, you're just like, oh, Malcolm's in this too. Maybe Malcolm is the one who has the clone jutsu. Doug, where can we find you, sir? On the internet, not in real life.
In real life, you can find me somewhere in New Jersey. I won't tell you where. My shadow clones will be hovering around somewhere. This is officially a joke. You can find me here on Take 3. This week we will be back with an episode of Bloody Manor. We weren't last week due to some issues, but we will be back, and we're going to talk Friday the 13th. And Nightmare on Elm Street, we're going to put them together, and Freddy vs. Jason will happen properly this time. As well as finding me sometimes with Malcolm on Rankum and on the movie debates leagues and everywhere else. Yeah.
Awesome. Yes, you can find me as always, Smith_K10, the number, not the word, on Twitter, Instagram, Stardust. Even though I don't post anything on Stardust, you can also find me right here hosting the show. As always, if you have lasted an hour watching the show and you don't know what it is, you're on some drugs. I don't judge, but there's some pretty strong drugs. Yeah, but I host this show. That happens whenever I feel like doing it. Also, we've been trying to throw out some more reactions. It didn't happen this last week because I had already seen the matches. Other than that, you can find me doing nothing. I don't have time. Sorry, that's all I got. It's terrible. No, I love everyone. Thanks for watching. Hopefully this wasn't the weirdest episode of The Summit you've ever seen. I'm pretty sure there have been some other weird ones. This is just the most scatterbrained I've ever been, I think. That's also probably not true. Please, someone tell me I'm wrong. I live for it. Perfect. But yeah, that's all we got. So thanks, guys, for watching. We appreciate you guys all checking us out. Leave a comment, leave a like, but more importantly, make sure you're liking and commenting on those Schmoedown matches. It does help the algorithm to reach more people. We need more people to watch these shows because they're great. Everyone likes them. So that's all we got. So everyone have a great day. And I hope that you all enjoy this upcoming week in the Schmoedown.
Quack, 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 quack.